Alright, hello there YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the quality of this video. I'm just using pictures off of my tablet here just so you can see. But I've got a bit of a rant to go on for a minute. I was contacted by somebody that I know. Her and her husband used to have snakes, and they just recently got out of it. I guess somebody they knew, their kid had a snake, and apparently the parents didn't make sure that the kid was taking care of him, and just recently found him and basically dropped him off to these guys. So because they're getting out of snakes, they contacted me, sent me this picture of him. He's a pastel male, supposedly several years old, quote unquote. Don't know exactly how old, where he came from, um, but she sent me this picture, and so I was like, well, he looks, obviously you can see his eye here is kind of grayish. You can see that his spine is pointy, but he doesn't look too bad. At least I didn't think he looked too bad in this picture. So I'm like, yeah, I can't have him where I am right now, but I've got a good friend who's got a lot more experience than me, and she said that she could take him. So it's now Monday. On Friday, her and I went to pick him up, and he was 90 times worse than what he looked in the picture. I forgot about the fact that she has very small hands. Um, so obviously he looks quite a bit smaller in here. So for those of you that don't know signs of a healthy ball python, I'll show you signs of a non-healthy one. First of all, you can see how gray he looks. Part of it's the lighting. Part of it's because he's got so many layers of stuck shed that he shines gray in that lighting. The other big thing that we looked at with him is, again, you can see the spine, which looks a lot worse in this picture than it did in the other. You keep seeing it. His eyes and his face, there's a better picture of it in a minute. You can see he's kind of wrinkly. It's all gray. When I was holding him, literally pieces of shed, scales, individual scales were coming off in my hands. That was my first impression of him. And of course, we got him in here, and again, you can see his eyes are gray. You can kind of see a little bit of peeling skin here. He's very, very pointy. This is just another view of him. Honestly, he's a beautiful snake under all of that. But again, oops, very, very pointy. And that's not really red, that's just the reflection. Skin peeling off his face. I promise she's not holding him tight like the way that it looks she is. She's just supporting his head. When you look at his scales, they're all separated like this, and you can see the skin in between them. That's shouldn't be that way. This again is just pointing out his spine. I doubt this snake has eaten in at least a year. And who knows what they were actually feeding him. For him being several years old, he should be, 3 to 4 times the size that he is right now. Again, skin coming off, individual scales because there's so many layers on him. That's just a closer view of his head from when I was holding him. This right here is what he should look like. You can see color. I mean, he might not be this bright, but you can see his eyes on this one are clear. He's round. They're usually round and squishy when they're healthy. I mean, judging by his age and the fact that he wasn't a breeder, he was a pet, he might even be bigger than this one, or at least should be. This is his vent, aka his butthole. It should be flat and hardly noticeable. And instead it was yellow, brownish, had tons of stuck shed. We were afraid that he had blockages. Again, with the skin coming off on the sides here, it was not a pretty scene. Looking at his belly, you can see his stomach folds in her fingers. and he's so, like, he just looks deflated. Again, you can see how disgusting that looks. That's from improper humidity, because ball pythons require at least, right around 60% humidity, temperatures between hot spot of 91 and low ambient of like 80 degrees. Obviously, he has not had that. Temperatures, I have no idea. I doubt he had a heat light on him, but considering how long all of this has been going on, he probably had some sort of heat, but no humidity whatsoever. So not only has he not eaten in forever, he has not shed in forever. All of that is stuck on him. He wouldn't even move when we held him. It was extremely concerning. He had no fight left in him whatsoever. Again, pointiness, more pointiness. This is a close-up of his face that my friend got. Again, the skin, his eyes should not be that color, should not be wrinkled like this. I expected when we got him, expected him to be striking at us and everything else, because when they have those eye caps, when they go into shed, they shed all of their scales, including the eye cap or the scale that's over their eyes. Well, obviously he hasn't shed those, which means he cannot see. Usually when a snake can't see, he's being picked up, he's being touched, who knows how long it's been since anybody's done that. He should have been trying to kill us. And again, instead he sat there and just sat there. And in all honesty, we did not think this guy was going to survive the night. She got him home, took him home Friday night, got him set up in a tub in her snake room, which is kept great at, ambient of right around 86 in there. He had nice high humidity, a water dish. We usually won't do soaking snakes because a lot of people will soak a snake with stuck shed to get the skin off, but it's really a lot of undue stress. I'll do a video on it on some other time. But it's undue stress, and it can cause respiratory infections. However, in this case, because of this, she did a soak in Pedialyte. I'm not sure much about the product. Again, this is why she's taking care of him instead of me, because he is beyond my capabilities. But it's supposed to encourage him to drink because of, again, dehydration, which is a part of all of this, and to clear that out. Because if he's blocked internally, he can't poop, which means even if we get him eating, then his system's just gonna, not pooping is not good, basically. So she got him home, gave him a little bit of a soak, got quite a bit of stuck shed off, but there's at least 2 layers of skin on him still that she thinks it's not going to come off till the next time he sheds naturally, and even then we have to hope that all of that goes well. She did that. She offered him food. Usually when you get any snake, you don't expect him to eat for the first week, maybe even the second week. But considering how thin he is and how long it's been since he has eaten, she went ahead and offered a frozen thawed meal, some fuzzies. He wasn't interested. Again, she took her chances and assist fed him, which is not something that is ever suggested, because again, that is somewhat dangerous and can be done wrong, and when done wrong, can be very dangerous. But she did. And it ended up being a good thing, because the next day she took this video. This is Saturday morning. She went in to check on him. This is urites. Basically, when snakes pee, a lot of it comes out solid. It has to do with their anatomy and everything else. So this was a really good sign. This was not something we expected. And then again, when you're seeing him, he's actually trying to avoid her She actually points out that, though I couldn't hear it in the video, he actually hissed at her, which is a good sign. This right here is all pink. That's all from the not shedding. He probably has snake mites, which is common in any situation, and something that whenever we get new snakes in, always to be very careful of. Again, skinny. You can see that he's actually moving around, which is more than he had done Friday night. She's just kind of giving him a look over and trying to get to this part right here, which is where the worst of his redness is. And then she picks up his tail and points out how thin his tail is. That should be, that should be thick and round like this. And again, he tries to escape from her. That is all good stuff right there. He's still in terrible condition, but obviously the food that she got through to him the night before started to help. Still at that point, even though he was being more active and looking a little bit healthier, there was still iffy. So then yesterday morning, she offered him another meal. Again, fuzzies is something that's too small for a hatchling ball python. The reason she did that is because, she picked him up and she could feel his spine from under his stomach. So you gotta figure if you put something too big in there too soon, it's gonna totally tear up his system. And at the time, we still didn't know if he was even able to pass feces or urine or anything like that. So she started just to get something in him. This is, I don't remember if it was a small mouse or a medium mouse. She offered to him and he took. That was completely surprising. She didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. But he took it and he ate it on his own. No assist feeding, anything like that. I figured it'd be weeks before he would eat on his own. So that's a really, really good sign. We still have no idea whether or not he's going to make it. He is doing so much better now than he was. But I just wanted to kind of put this out there to let people know, kids want to have animals, and it's great to give them that, to teach them responsibility. But you gotta make sure that they're actually taking care of it. It doesn't teach them responsibility if you don't make sure that they're actually being responsible. The snake has been through hell. And again, we don't know at this point if, I don't know what I just clicked on here, I'm sorry, if he's even going to be able to make it through all of this. This is a lot to put a snake through, and it takes them so long to die of causes like this. Like I said, I think it's been a year at least since he's eaten. I really like this picture to show people of what he should look like. I would use a picture of Martouf, but his coloring is so much different and he's so much younger. So we're really pulling for this guy. And I'm keeping people updated as much as I can. I just figured I'd put a video on here to let people look at so they know, this can happen. And please don't let this happen. Snakes don't have vocal cords. They can hiss, sure, but they're not going to hiss to tell you, hey, I'm hungry, hey, come take care of me, hey, things aren't right. They just hiss at you if you go to mess with them, which obviously nobody has in a long time with him. So please take care of animals. Don't let kids be completely in charge of them and not monitor them. Snakes make great pets for kids as long as they're, supervised, and I just can't. So my rant's over. Hope you guys can take something from this, and have a great day.